Welcome to this video presented by attorney Andrew Dye and Highlands Law Firm. A living trust, also known as a revocable trust or an inter vivos trust, is a legal entity created during a person's lifetime to manage their assets. It is an important estate planning tool that can provide a wide range of benefits. Probate is the legal process through which a deceased person's estate is administered and distributed in accordance with their will, or in the absence of a valid will, according to California's intestacy laws. The probate process in California involves several steps and is overseen by the probate court. Sounds good? But here's the fact. Probate in California can be time-consuming, taking anywhere from several months to several years, depending on the complexity of the estate and whether any disputes arise. Additionally, the process can be expensive, with court fees, attorney fees, and other costs. For these reasons, many people choose to use estate planning tools like living trusts to avoid probate and ensure a more efficient and private transfer of assets to their beneficiaries. Avoiding probate. One of the main reasons people establish a living trust is to avoid the probate process, which can be time-consuming, expensive, and public. By transferring assets into a living trust, those assets pass directly to the named beneficiaries without going through probate court. Privacy. Since living trusts are not part of public records, the details of the trust, including the assets and beneficiaries, remain private. This contrasts with the probate process, which is public and can expose sensitive information. Continuity of asset management. A living trust allows for seamless management of assets in the event of incapacity or death. The successor trustee can immediately take over the management of the trust's assets, ensuring that financial affairs continue without disruption. Control over distribution. A living trust allows the grantor to specify how and when their assets will be distributed to the beneficiaries. This can be particularly useful in situations where beneficiaries may not be financially responsible or in cases where minor children are involved. Protection from challenges. Living trusts are generally more difficult to contest than wills. Since assets in a living trust pass directly to the beneficiaries without probate court involvement, it may be harder for disgruntled family members or creditors to challenge the validity of the trust. Flexibility. A living trust is revocable, meaning the grantor can modify, amend, or revoke it at any time during their lifetime, provided they are still mentally competent. This allows for adjustments to be made as circumstances change. Tax benefits. While a living trust does not generally provide significant tax benefits compared to a will, it may still help in some situations. For example, a properly structured living trust can help married couples take advantage of the estate tax exemption and reduce estate taxes. A living trust typically includes several important documents and components. While the specific documents may vary depending on individual circumstances and state laws, some key elements of a living trust include trust agreement. The trust agreement, also known as the Declaration of Trust or trust instrument, is the main document that establishes the trust. It outlines the terms and conditions of the trust, identifies the grantor, the person creating the trust, the trustee, the person managing the trust, and the beneficiaries, those who will receive the benefits of the trust. The trust agreement also sets forth the rules and guidelines for how the trust assets should be managed and distributed. Schedule of assets. This document lists all the assets that have been transferred into the trust, including real estate, bank accounts, investments, and personal property. It is essential to keep this document up to date to ensure that all assets are properly included in the trust. Funding documents. Funding documents are the legal instruments used to transfer assets into the trust. These may include deeds for real estate, account ownership forms for bank accounts and investment accounts, and title documents for vehicles. Trustee designation. This document identifies the successor trustee, who will take over the management of the trust in the event of the grantor's incapacity or death. It is important to choose a trustworthy and competent person or institution to serve in this role. Pour-over will. Although a living trust is designed to avoid probate, it is still a good idea to have a pour-over will in place. This document directs any assets not included in the trust at the time of the grantor's death to be transferred to the trust, ensuring that all assets are eventually distributed according to the terms of the trust. Advance Healthcare Directive and Power of Attorney. While not strictly part of the living trust, these documents are often created alongside the trust as part of a comprehensive estate plan. An Advance Healthcare Directive, also known as a living will, outlines the grantor's preferences for medical care in case they become incapacitated. A power of attorney authorizes someone to make financial and legal decisions on the grantor's behalf if they become unable to do so themselves. Beneficiary designations. In some cases, certain assets like life insurance policies and retirement accounts may not be transferred into the trust, but instead pass directly to beneficiaries through beneficiary designations. It is important to ensure that these designations are consistent with the overall estate plan and the provisions of the trust. Living trust is a very important legal set of documents in life, and it may have severe tax impact on the asset depending on the size of the estate. Please text or call our office at 650-817-8888 or email us at info@highlandslaw.us for a quick and free consultation with our staff as soon as possible.